Good day, my dear learners! Welcome to our third video lesson. In this video lesson, we are going to discuss the other kinds of nouns: abstract, concrete, and collective nouns. Do not forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell for you to be updated on the video lessons that I'm going to upload weekly. Okay, so let's have again the definition of nouns. Nouns are names of persons, places, things, animals, ideas, and events. In my previous video lessons, I discussed to you the first four kinds of nouns, and they are proper nouns, common nouns, mass nouns, or also known as uncountable, and count nouns, also known as countable. Now, we are on the fifth kind of nouns, which is the abstract nouns. Abstract nouns are words that do not appeal to any of the five senses. It means to say that abstract nouns cannot be perceived by our five senses. Abstract nouns cannot be seen, cannot be touched, cannot be tasted, cannot be heard, and cannot be smelled. They name qualities, activities, conditions, ideas, and virtues. Here are the following examples of abstract nouns: beauty, justice, love, purity, hope, poverty, power, pride, and anger. As what you have noticed on the following examples, these are nouns which do not appeal to any of the five senses. These are the nouns that we cannot perceive by our five senses. Some abstract nouns can be formed by adding suffixes. Suffixes are affixes that are attached at the end of the root word. Again, suffixes or affixes that are attached at the end of the root word. Here are the following examples of suffixes. We have meant, ans, ty, hood, ness, ion, y, ism, ry, and ship. Here now are the examples of abstract nouns formed by adding suffixes. The first one is friendship. It came from its root word friend plus the suffix ship. The second example is kindness. It came from its root word kind plus the suffix ness. Third example is commitment. It came from its root word commit plus the suffix ment. The fourth example is purity. It came from its root word pure plus the suffix ity. Deliverance. It came from its root word deliver plus the suffix ans. Other examples are sisterhood. It came from its root word sister plus the suffix hood. Honesty. It came from its root word honest plus the suffix y. Patriotism. It came from its root word patriot plus the suffix ism. Bravery. It came from its root word brave plus the suffix ry. And creation. It came from its root word create plus the suffix ion. Now it's time for us to use abstract nouns in sentences. The first one is, the investigation is not yet over. What do you think is the abstract noun in the sentence? Good job! It's investigation. The second sentence, heroes show courage. What do you think is the abstract noun in the sentence? Good job. It's courage. The last sentence, I love people who show humility to others. What do you think is the abstract noun in the sentence? Very good. It's humility. Take note in sentence 3, the word love is not an abstract noun because the word love there is used as a verb. Investigation, courage, and humility are abstract nouns which do not appeal to our five senses. If you have question, please feel free to type it in our comment box. Now, let's proceed on our sixth kind of nouns, which is the concrete nouns. Concrete nouns are words that do appeal to any of the five senses. We can say that concrete nouns are opposites of abstract nouns because concrete nouns can be perceived by our five senses. They can physically be seen, touched, tasted, heard, or smelled. The following examples of concrete nouns are garlic, chairs, books, perfume, thunder, donut, apple, wall, and pillow. Other examples of concrete nouns are teacher, student, lawyer, fruits, pencil, bag, cat, elephant, and monkey. Again, concrete nouns are words that do appeal to any of our senses. They can either be seen, touched, smelled, tasted, or heard. Now use concrete nouns in sentences. The first one is, I bought a laptop for my sister. How many concrete nouns do you see in the sentence? Is your answer two? Correct. What are those? Are your answers laptop and sister? Correct. Second example. There are loaves of bread on the table. How many concrete nouns in the sentence? Great job. Again, we do have two concrete nouns. The first one is bread, and the second one is table. Bread is a concrete noun because it can be seen, touched, smelled, and tasted. In my video lesson about mass noun, I gave bread as one of the examples because bread is uncountable, meaning to say it can't be counted. So yes, there are nouns which have more than one kind. Third example, that tree is very old. How many concrete nouns do you see in the sentence? Correct, we only have one, and that is, of course, tree. Fourth example, red roses make me happy. How many concrete nouns do you see? All right, we only have one, and that is roses. The last sentence, my mother loves to bake cakes. How many concrete nouns do you see in the sentence? Correct. We do have two concrete nouns. The first one is mother, and the second one is cakes. Know what's in your mind. I would love to read all your comments. Now, let's proceed on the last kind of nouns, which is the collective nouns. Collective nouns denote a group of persons, animals, or things considered as one. Here are the following examples of collective nouns for group of persons. We have class, family, couple, crowd. For group of animals, we have herd, flock, school, swarm. And for the group of things, we have bunch, bundle, com, and group. Let's have now the examples of collective nouns used for a group of persons. We have battalion, audience, mob, gang, choir, band, team, staff, tribe, troop, crew, company, committee, congregation, and orchestra. Let's have now the following examples of collective nouns used for groups of animals. We have colony, like colony of ants or colony of whales. Army, like army of ants. Hive, like hive of bees. Pride, like pride of lions. Den, like den of lions. Kindle, like kindle of kittens. Covey, like covey of birds. Goggle, like goggle of geese. Nest, like nest of snakes. Stud, like stud of horses. Haul, like haul of fish. Kennel, like kennel of dogs. Litter, like litter of kittens. Brood, like brood of hens. And zeal, like zeal of zebras. Now let's move on the examples of collective nouns used for groups of things. We have cloud, like cloud of dust. Galaxy, like galaxy of stars. Library, like library of books. Bowl, like bowl of rice. Pack, like pack of cards. Fleet, like fleet of vessels. Bale, like bale of cotton. Hedge, like hedge of bushes. Quiver, like quiver of arrows. Bouquet, like bouquet of flowers. Group, like group of islands. Album, like album of photographs. Cluster, like cluster of coconuts. Basket, like basket of fruits. And batch, like batch of bread. Please remember this note, my dear learners. Collective nouns denote a group of persons, animals, or things considered as one. Therefore, they require singular verbs. If you are about to construct a sentence using collective noun as your subject, make it sure that you are going to use the singular form of the verb. Let's now use collective nouns in sentences. Number 1. A battalion of soldiers was ready to fight. What do you think is the collective noun in the sentence? Correct. It's battalion. Battalion is a collective noun used for a group of persons. What do you think now is the verb? Nice try. The answer is was. Because battalion is a collective noun considered as one, we use the verb was. Was is the past tense of is. Is and was are linking verbs that are used for singular subject. Number 2. An army of ants marches through the garden. What do you think is the collective noun in the sentence? Very good. It's army. Army is a collective noun used for a group of animals. What do you think now is the verb? Thank you for trying. The answer is marches. Army is a collective noun considered as one. That is why we use the singular form of the verb march, which is marches. The last sentence. The bowl of rice is on the table. What do you think is the collective noun in the sentence? Awesome. It's bowl. Bowl is a collective noun used for group of things. What do you think is the verb? Thank you again for trying. The answer is. Since bowl is a collective noun considered as one, we should use the linking verb is. Congratulations! Are you having difficulty in identifying verbs and how to form their singular or plural? Don't worry, my dear learners. We are going to discuss verbs in my future video lessons. For the meantime, if you have concerns, clarifications, or anything that you would like to ask, please let me know. Type them down in our comment box. Did you learn anything on this video lesson? Comment it down. Now, it's activity time. You may pause the video for you to get a pen and a paper. Once you are ready, you may continue playing it. In this part, I prepared 3 activities: easy, moderate, and difficult. Are you excited to do the activities? Let's begin. For our activity 1, we have tell if the noun is abstract, concrete, or collective. The first item is family. Is family an abstract, a concrete, or a collective noun? Is your answer collective noun? You are correct. Family is a collective noun used for a group of persons. Good job, my dear learners. Next item for activity 1 is love. Is love an abstract, a concrete, or a collective noun? Of course, the answer is abstract noun. Love is a noun that cannot be perceived by any of our senses. It cannot be touched, it cannot be seen, it cannot be smelled, it cannot be tasted, and it cannot be heard. The third item for our activity 1 is radio. Is radio an abstract, a concrete, or a collective noun? The answer is, of course, it's a concrete noun. It can be perceived by any of our 5 senses. Radio can be seen, radio can be touched, and radio can be heard. So that's a concrete noun. The fourth item for our activity 1 is loyalty. Is loyalty an abstract, a concrete, or a collective noun? Of course, the answer is abstract noun. Loyalty cannot be perceived by our 5 senses. We cannot see, we cannot hear, we cannot touch, we cannot smell, and we cannot taste loyalty. That is why it is an abstract noun. Aside from that, loyalty is an abstract noun formed from adding suffix. Last item for our activity 1 is swarm. Is swarm an abstract, a concrete, or a collective noun? Okay, so the answer is collective noun. It is a collective noun used for a group of animals. Congratulations, my dear learners. All right. Now, Let's proceed on our activity 2, which is the moderate round. In this activity, you're going to say yes if the statement is correct and no if it is not. If you want to write it down in your paper, you may do so. Again, simply say or write yes if the statement is correct, and simply say or write no if it is not. Okay? The first statement. Abstract nouns can be perceived by our senses. Abstract nouns can be perceived by our senses. Is it a yes or a no? Okay, so of course the answer is no. Abstract nouns cannot be perceived by our senses. Abstract nouns do not appeal to any of our senses. Meaning to say, abstract nouns cannot be seen, cannot be touched, cannot be heard, cannot be tasted, and cannot be smelled. Next statement for our activity 2, colony, audience, bouquet, and team are examples of collective nouns. Colony, audience, bouquet, and team are examples of collective nouns. What's your answer? Is your answer yes? Then you are correct. Good job, my dear learners. These are examples of collective nouns. Our third statement for activity 2, concrete nouns can be seen, touched, heard, tasted, or felt. Concrete nouns can be seen, touched, heard, tasted, or felt. Is it a yes or a no? Let's see. The answer is yes. Concrete nouns are opposite of abstract nouns. Concrete nouns can be perceived by any of our 5 senses. Next statement. Statement number 4 for our activity 2. Some of the abstract nouns can be formed by adding suffixes. Suffixes are affixes that are attached at the end of the root word. Some of the abstract nouns can be formed by adding suffixes. Suffixes are affixes that are attached at the end of the root word. Yes or no? The correct answer is yes. There are some abstract nouns that can be formed by adding suffixes like friendship, loyalty, purity, childhood, so on and so forth. Then, for our last statement for activity 2, collective nouns denote a group of persons, animals, and things considered as more than one. Collective nouns denote a group of persons, animals, and things considered as more than one. Okay, so the answer of course is no. Collective nouns denote a group of persons, animals, and things considered as one. That is why when you use collective nouns as your subjects in your sentences, you must use singular verbs. Are you still on track, my dear learners? We are now done with activities 1 and 2. Now, Let's proceed on our last activity, which is the difficult round. In this activity, you're going to classify the following nouns by placing them under the proper column. These are the following nouns. We have perfume, sweetness, herd, pizza, bravery, flock, stone, honesty, window, laptop, hate, choir, laziness, hive, and den. Again, classify the following nouns by placing them under the proper column. You may pause the video while answering this activity. Once you are done, you may continue playing it and we're going to check your answers. Okay guys, let's check your work. These are the answers for our activity 3. For abstract nouns, we have sweetness, bravery, honesty, hate, and laziness. These are nouns which cannot be perceived by our five senses. For concrete nouns, we have perfume, pizza, stone, window, and laptop. These are nouns which can be perceived by our five senses. The last one is for collective nouns. We have herd, flock, choir, hive, and den. These are collective nouns that we use for groups of persons and animals. Congratulations, my dear learners! Yay! Good job, my dear learners! Thank you for spending your time learning the lesson with me. If you don't mind, kindly type in your scores in the comment box. Also, please like the video lesson. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you very much. For next week, we are going to discuss plural nouns. Until next week, my dear learners, thank you for watching. Goodbye and have a great day ahead.